Hello, good evening, and thanks for having me here. I'm here in the WSBT 22 studios instead of being with all of you. Now just remember, the more we stay apart right now, the faster we can be together again, sometime hopefully soon. Scholarship, character, citizenship, service, and leadership. What is this list? Of course, it's the 5 pillars of the National Junior Honor Society, but a deeper look shows really a connection to what a lot of people see as keys to a good life. Life is all about choices. You have to make a choice to be educated. That's the scholarship. You have a choice in the kind of character you have. You have a choice to be a good citizen. You have a choice to be of service to others. You have a choice to be a leader and the type of leader you want or need to be. Now, under normal circumstances, your world would revolve around your school, your friends, and your family, or at least it should. I tell my daughters, you have 3 jobs right now. First is to be a good sister and a daughter. Second is to be a good student. And third is to be a good friend. Every single one of those jobs is attainable. It's a choice that you have to make. And schooling is no different. All of you are blessed with a very high level of intelligence, but intelligence means really nothing unless you're willing to apply it. Applying it means work. And I'll tell you, the person who is willing to put in the work with your education, regardless of the natural level of intelligence you have, will always come out on top. I'll give you a good example. He was talking about basketball in this quote, but it really applies to your schooling as well. In an interview, the late Kobe Bryant was asked how he wants to be remembered. He said he wanted to be known as a talented overachiever. He wanted people to say he was, quote, blessed with talent, but he worked as if he had none. That's the difference between excellence and just good enough, between great and good. Take that God-given talent you have in your brain to succeed in the classroom and match it with a strong work ethic, you'll be unstoppable. Now let's talk about character. You've probably heard from your parents, a teacher, or a coach. Character is what you do when no one's watching. Character is what you do when no one knows. You pick up a piece of trash in the school parking lot, you throw it away. Helping an elderly lady load her bags in the car. You help a friend in one of your classrooms when he just isn't getting it. That's character. I'm a firm believer that character is really defined by attitude. I strongly believe you cannot have a bad attitude and strong character. The two are intertwined, they're married, they cannot be broken. You can fake your way through, but eventually it's going to catch up with you, and not in a good way. If you have a positive attitude, you at least give yourself a fighting chance. You will stick with your goals even when things get tough. Along with giving yourself a fighting chance as well, you're making people around you even better. Your attitude and your actions display your character more than your words ever will. You have the power, based upon your attitude and your willingness to do the right thing, your character, to be the person you want to be. One of my favorite quotes is from Henry Ford. He's the man who invented the automobile assembly line. He said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. That means if you don't think you can accomplish something, you almost always will not accomplish that goal. You're already giving yourself a reason to quit. You're defeated in your own mind. Be confident in yourself and your abilities. Give yourself a chance. The second you quit, that is the moment you've lost. My second favorite quote, which my daughters hear probably a lot, is from a legendary basketball coach, John Wooden. Be more concerned with your character than your reputation. Your character is who you really are. Your reputation is only what other people think about you. We all want our friends to like us. Of course, that's just common sense. It's natural. But that can come and go. And it's important, don't get me wrong, to have our friends like us. But what our lifelong goal really should be is to have good character. Be that person who stands up for what's right. Be that person who defends people who can't defend themselves. Be that genuinely good person because it's the right thing to do. And the funny thing is, if you have good character, you won't have to worry about a bad reputation. Next thing, citizenship. Being a good citizen. What does that mean? Does it mean that you vote in every election? Does it mean you help your elderly neighbors? Are you aware of the world around you? Try to make it a better place? Well, these days you follow the rules of physical distancing and shield the people around you. Well, it actually means all of those things, but it starts with being aware. Be aware of the people around you. Be aware of what's happening in your community. One of the reasons the First Amendment, the very First Amendment of the Constitution, lists freedom of the press is because our founding fathers knew our country, knew how important it is for all of us to know what's truly happening in our neighborhoods, in our towns, in our states, and in our country. We cannot make decisions on who represents us, the taxes they're going to collect and spend, the laws that will impact all of us if we have really no clue what's going on. That is one of the most basic elements of being a good citizen. In fact, Thomas Jefferson felt so strongly about being informed as a requirement for being a good citizen. He said, if we think we can be ignorant or uninformed and free, will never be free. That's why I get kind of discouraged when I see polls about college-aged people old enough to know better who can tell you every member of the Kardashian family, but they can't tell you there are 9 members of the Supreme Court or who their congressional representative is. Being a good citizen, though, also means all the things we've mentioned earlier. You help your neighbors. You care for the student who no one wants to sit with at lunch. Being educated, having good character. You see the theme here, I'm hoping. These are all intertwined. Being a good citizen means you're actually upholding the pillars of NJHS, intentionally or not. Another one, service. You've all done service hours and projects toward your goal with NJHS. And hopefully now you're seeing why it's such an important thing. Maybe when you started, you looked at the goal thinking, oh man, this is going to stink. This is a lot of time. It's going to be boring. What am I going to get out of this? Well, remember a few moments ago when I talked about attitude, when you serve someone with the right attitude, the proper heart, you will receive much more than you ever give. Service done with the right attitude is a double-edged sword. Not only does that group you're helping or the person you're helping get the help needed to make it through the day or the week, you come away with a new sense of gratitude about the blessings that you have in your life. That hopefully gives you a new perspective to be thankful for what you have and share your time and your talent with the people who are struggling just to make it through a given day. Here's the thing. Even with the smallest act in your mind, that can make the world of difference to the person who's on the receiving end. It lets that person know someone cares. I'm not alone. I can make it through this day. Think about yourself. You are no different than every other person in this planet right now. Is anyone paying attention? Am I loved? Do people care? For some of those people needing the service you provide, you might be the only example they have of someone caring for them. Keep that in mind when you give the service. Always choose kindness. And the final pillar of the NJHS is leadership. Leadership is one of those qualities that I think a lot of people can see it, but they can't really define it. Maybe the simplest way to define it is painting a quick mental picture. Think of the person in your life who gives you hope and confidence. The best leaders inspire their coworkers and their friends. The best leaders are examples to the people they lead. I've been blessed with great leaders throughout my career. I visualize them often when I run up against a difficult decision or a struggle. Leadership doesn't mean bossing people around, demanding people do things your way, not taking input, taking credit for other people's ideas. Leadership isn't leading by fear. In other words, people only do what they have to do to avoid getting in trouble, not because it's the right thing to do. In fact, the best leadership encourages the people around you to push back on your ideas, make your ideas better and your plans better, makes you defend your position and maybe rethink it. The best leaders are the people who put others first. The best leaders lead not for themselves, but because it's what's right. And remember, when you are a leader, not if you become a leader, preach excellence and be consistent. Legendary Michigan football coach Bo Schembechler made it pretty crystal clear. You are what you emphasize. So emphasize excellence, because excellence is a habit. Excellence is not a once-in-a-while act. Remember, becoming a boss is a position that's given to you. Becoming a leader is a position you earned through your best human qualities. And now the 2 best words of any speech. In closing, your approach to life is like a table or a stool. That's the way I always view it anyway. The most balanced table or a stool has all of its legs the same length, so it doesn't wobble. If it doesn't wobble, it's not going to break. The same is true for the 5 pillars of the National Junior Honor Society. If we balance these pillars in our lives, we'll be better people. If we're better people, we'll have a better family. If we have a better family, we'll have a better community. And if we have better communities, we'll have better states. And better states leading to a better country. It all starts with really that one decision, that one act, and more importantly, the action from you. Don't make excuses. I tell my daughters all the time, you are extremely special in my house. The second you walk out into the world, you're just another kid. Stand out. Make yourself special. Get educated. Have that good character. Be a good citizen. Serve others. Be a leader. The habits you foster, the work ethic you have, the compassion and the kindness you show to other people, your attitude, every single one of those is up to you. Make the conscious choice every day to be that example by living your best life. You have a choice every morning to determine the type of day you're going to have. Yes, there will be things that will happen to you that you're not going to like, for example, a global pandemic. Your attitude determines whether that thing over which you have no control is going to be a problem or a challenge. It's only a problem when you let it become a problem. Choose your attitude wisely. Thanks for having me.